If you ever felt like you weren't enough, this is for you. You know that feeling when you're in a room full of people and somehow you still feel invisible? When everyone's laughing and talking and living their lives, and you're just there, wondering if anyone would notice if you disappeared? When you look at everyone else and they seem so put together, so confident, so sure of themselves, and then you look at yourself and see nothing but cracks and mistakes and all the ways you don't measure up? That feeling has a name. It's called not enough. And if you've ever felt it, if it's sitting in your chest right now like a stone you can't swallow, I need you to know something. You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. You're just human. And being human in a world that demands perfection is the loneliest thing there is. This isn't a motivational speech. This isn't me telling you to just be confident or love yourself more or any of those empty phrases that sound good on Instagram but feel impossible at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep because your brain won't stop listing all your failures. This is something different. This is the truth about feeling inadequate in a world that profits from your insecurity. This is about where that voice in your head came from, the one that says you're not smart enough, pretty enough, successful enough, worthy enough. And this is about why that voice is lying. Let me tell you about Emma. She's 26, has a good job, a nice apartment, friends who love her. On paper, her life looks fine, more than fine. But every morning, Emma wakes up with this heaviness in her chest, this feeling that she's somehow falling behind, that everyone else got a manual for life and she missed the distribution day. She scrolls through social media and sees her college friend just got promoted. Another friend is engaged. Someone else is traveling Europe. And Emma's just existing, going to work, coming home, wondering when her real life is supposed to start. But here's what Emma doesn't see. Her promoted friend cries in the office bathroom twice a week from stress. The engaged one is terrified she's making a mistake. The traveler is running from problems back home and posting beautiful photos to hide the fact that she feels empty. Everyone's pretending. Everyone's performing. Everyone's curating their highlight reel and comparing it to everyone else's. And in the process, we've created this collective delusion that everyone else has it figured out except us. The psychological term for this is pluralistic ignorance, when everyone privately feels inadequate but publicly acts confident, leading everyone to believe they're the only one struggling. It's a mass illusion, and we're all trapped in it. The voice that wasn't yours. Here's something most people don't realize. That voice in your head that tells you you're not enough, it wasn't born with you. You weren't born thinking you were inadequate. Babies don't look in mirrors and criticize themselves. Toddlers don't compare their achievements to other toddlers and feel less than. That voice was taught to you, programmed into you, by parents who meant well but passed down their own insecurities, by teachers who praised some kids and overlooked others, by a culture that makes money convincing you you're broken so you'll buy the fix. Think about it. Every advertisement you've ever seen contains the same message. You're not enough as you are, but our product will make you enough. Not pretty enough? Buy this makeup. Not successful enough? Take this course. Not happy enough? Purchase this lifestyle. We're swimming in messages of inadequacy from the moment we can understand language. And after years of hearing it, we internalize it. The external voice becomes internal. The criticism becomes automatic. Until one day you don't even notice it anymore. It's just background noise, this constant low-level hum of not enough, not enough, not enough. Psychologists call this the inner critic. But here's what they don't always tell you. The inner critic is just a collection of voices from your past, replaying on a loop. It's your second-grade teacher who said you'd never be good at math, your parent who compared you to your more successful sibling, the kid who made fun of how you looked, the person who rejected you, the boss who passed you over. None of those voices were telling you the truth. They were telling you their truth, their projections, their limitations. But you absorbed them. You made them yours. You've been carrying around other people's opinions disguised as facts. the enough threshold. There's this thing called the hedonic treadmill in psychology. It's the observation that no matter what we achieve, we quickly adapt to it and return to a baseline level of happiness. You think, I'll feel enough when I get the promotion. You get the promotion, you feel good for a week, then it becomes normal and suddenly you need the next thing to feel valuable. I'll feel enough when I lose the weight. I'll feel enough when I find a partner. I'll feel enough when I make 6 figures. I'll feel enough when I have a certain number of followers. But the goalpost keeps moving, because enough isn't a destination. It's not something you achieve externally. It's something you decide internally. And until you make that decision, no amount of success, beauty, money, or validation will ever make you feel complete. I know someone who spent 10 years chasing enough. They got the degree, the job, the apartment, the relationship, the body they wanted. They checked every box on their "when I have this, I'll finally feel worthy" list. And you know what happened? They still felt empty, because they'd been chasing the wrong thing all along. The problem wasn't that they needed more. The problem was that they'd made their worth conditional. They'd told themselves, I am valuable if, I am lovable when, I am enough once. But worth doesn't work that way. Worth isn't earned, it isn't achieved, it isn't conditional. You don't become worthy, you just are. You always were, you just forgot. The comparison trap. Social media has made the not enough epidemic worse. We're not just comparing ourselves to our immediate circle anymore. We're comparing ourselves to the entire world, to influencers with professional photographers and editing teams, to celebrities with personal trainers and stylists, to people who only show their wins and hide their losses. And our brains aren't equipped for this. Evolutionarily, we're designed to compare ourselves to our immediate tribe, maybe 50 to 150 people. That's the number of relationships our brains can actually maintain. But now we're exposed to thousands of people daily, all seemingly living better lives than us. Studies show that the more time people spend on social media, the worse they feel about themselves. It's not a coincidence. These platforms are designed to create inadequacy. Because inadequate people keep scrolling, keep posting, keep chasing validation through likes and comments and follows. You're not broken for feeling not enough. You're responding normally to an abnormal environment, an environment that profits from your insecurity, an environment that's literally designed to make you feel inadequate so you'll keep consuming. The radical act of being enough. So what's the answer? How do you quiet that voice? How do you stop feeling like you're perpetually falling short? First, you have to recognize that feeling not enough isn't a personal failing. It's a symptom of living in a culture that's built on manufactured scarcity. There's always someone richer, prettier, smarter, more successful. The game is rigged. You can't win by playing. The only way out is to stop playing, to refuse the premise, to say, I'm not a product to be optimized. I'm not a brand to be marketed. I'm not a before photo waiting to become an after. I am a human being, and my value is inherent, not earned. This sounds simple. It's not, because you've spent years, maybe decades, believing the opposite. You've internalized the idea that worth is conditional, that love must be earned, that acceptance depends on performance. Unlearning this requires conscious, daily practice. It means catching that inner critic voice and questioning it. I'm not smart enough. Says who? Based on what standard? Who benefits from me believing this? It means unfollowing accounts that make you feel less than. It means setting boundaries with people who treat you like you're not enough. It means choosing yourself even when it feels selfish, even when you're scared, even when you don't fully believe you deserve it yet. The letter you need. If I could write you a letter, here's what it would say. Dear you, you are enough. Not because you achieved something, not because you look a certain way, not because you've overcome all your struggles or fixed all your flaws. You're enough because you exist. Because you're here, trying, surviving, showing up day after day in a world that makes it hard to do so. Your value isn't determined by your productivity. You're not a machine meant to output results. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to have bad days, bad weeks, bad years. You're allowed to be imperfect and messy and still worthy of love. You don't have to earn your place. You don't have to justify your existence. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone, not to your parents, not to your friends, not to strangers on the internet, not even to yourself. The person you are right now, in this moment, with all your flaws and fears and insecurities, that person is enough. Not will be enough when, not could be enough if, is enough. Present tense. Right now. I know you don't believe me yet. I know you have a list in your head of all the reasons I'm wrong, all the ways you've failed, all the things you need to fix before you can accept yourself. But what if you're wrong? What if the story you've been telling yourself, the one where you're not enough, is just a story? What if it's not truth, just habit, just old programming running on autopilot? What if you could choose a different story? One where you're already whole, already complete, already worthy. Not because you did anything to earn it, but because worthiness isn't something you earn. It's something you are. The truth. Here's the truth they don't tell you. Nobody feels like enough all the time. The people you admire, the ones who seem so confident and together, they have the same doubts you do. They just don't broadcast them. They've learned to act as if they're enough, even when they don't feel it. And eventually, the acting becomes real. Confidence isn't the absence of self-doubt. It's the decision to move forward despite it. It's saying, I don't feel like enough, but I'm going to choose myself anyway. It's treating yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a friend. It's recognizing that your worth isn't up for debate. You are enough. Not because I said so, not because you believe it yet, but because it's an objective truth. You exist, you matter. Your life has value that can't be measured or compared or diminished. And if you can't believe that today, that's okay. Just try to believe that someday you might. That's enough for now. You're enough for now. You always have been.